If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Please call or text 988.
The number is being given today, so we don't have to light this candle to remind us of another life lost to suicide.
There will be better days ahead. You just have to wait for them. There will be better days ahead.
Don't hesitate to reach out to someone right now.
I promise you that you are appreciated and loved.
Depression and anxiety, know that you're not alone. Need help? I'm going to ask you again. Call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. You can also text or call 988, the Suicide Crisis Hotline. I love you guys. I want you here. Please help each other.
You are entering the cosmos.
Hello, cadets. Welcome to episode 29 of the Big Monster Briefing Room. I'm General Howitzer, retired, and I want to bring up my assistant, my able-bodied assistant, Major Millie Hazzard.
Thank you, General, for allowing me to be here.
Sounds like you knocked something over there.
Well, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sometimes I'm a little fakakta over here, but it's okay. We don't worry about it. Oh, what kind of tea do you have? I have raspberry tea. What kind of tea do you have, General?
Well, of course, peach tea. Peach mango.
Are you going to be making any peach tea General noises?
I just did. So
that's a little something to keep the cadets on their boots, to keep them on their boots.
Keep them on their boots.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You said you were fakaftka?
It's a very popular New Yorkism. You might not know if you're not from New York, but when you're fakakted, everything is a little bit messed up. In Ukrainian, we say shoulda Buddha. Everything shoulda Buddha. Fakakta is like the Yiddish version of that.
Well, we definitely want to give our support to the Ukraine.
Of course, we always want to give support to Ukraine. Ukraine is strong, and they're going to be victorious. Good always triumphs over evil.
Yes, most of the time.
In the long run.
Yeah, but
Putin will
also,
die
the suicide awareness thing that we ran at the beginning of the show. I just want to say our good friend MM looks fantastic in that. She looks fabulous in that. Do you ever watch any old Clint Eastwood movies? She looks like Sandra Locke, Clint Eastwood's old wife. You remember that?
Yeah, that's right. A little bit. That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
So anyway,
she's a phenomenal editor as well. She edited the whole thing. She put together the whole thing, and she spearheaded the whole movement here on Cosmos for all of September because it is Suicide Awareness Month. And a lot of us, most people, especially after the pandemic, but most of us have had at least somebody that we know of or somebody in our family who has been adversely affected by suicide or by mental health situations. So
it's another pandemic on top of the pandemic.
It's a pandemic within a pandemic, like a turducken. It's like the worst turducken ever. The turducken of mental health crises. And so she spearheaded this wonderful thing, which is that there's a lot of events going on. So if you go to Cosmos Creative TV's Facebook group, the calendar is posted there, and you're going to be able to find a lot of testimonies and a lot of positive affirmation and a lot of community support.
I'm waiting for you to say like verklempt.
Well, I'm not verklempt yet, so I can't say verklempt yet because I'm not verklempt yet. You have to say something very sweet to me, and if you say something very sweet to me, then I'll get verklempt.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the other way around. I'm sorry. So I got my Yiddish.
If I get verklempt, I promise you, I'll tell you I'm verklempt. Let's have a little drink of tea, and if you're drinking a beverage,
there.
Right. And if our cadets are drinking any hot beverages or cold beverages, please type and let us know what you're drinking, so we can all have a little afternoon high tea together.
This training film that we're doing today is Yongari, Monster from the Deep, and this is a very hard one to find. Okay, it's a Korean film. It's a Korean training film that was done in 1967. In the same vein as Godzilla and Ultraman and all that. And it's just very hard to find this one. As you'll see on our timeline, unfortunately, our pictures are a little VHS kind of. It adds to the high definition. Let's put it that way.
It's very artistic. I like it. It's very soft.
Yeah, we put the soft gel on. Yeah,
it's very soft.
The film is definitely cut on the left-hand side. You can't see some things that you're supposed to see in the movie. The copy that we got is not the best quality, is what I'm saying. This is my disclaimer at the beginning of the show. But we are doing the timeline. We are going to show you through we're going to take you through the whole movie. And they did a remake. Oh, I guess it was around the year 2000, maybe 1999, 2000. They did a remake it was one of the first CGI monster movies. The first one really was Jurassic Park. The CGI with the CGI monsters, the computer graphic monsters. So this one is suitmation. It's a guy in a suit, just like the Japanese do it. And the remake that came later was all digital and got a lot of criticism because it wasn't very good digital. So anyway, all right. Hazzard is throwing me into the timeline. Don't want me wasting too much time just talking. So it's Yongari.
You can keep going. You can keep going, General. Don't let me psych you out with that. You can keep talking. Don't feel truncated by me. You're not truncated. We don't want to truncate the General.
Truncate.
We don't want to truncate the General at all.
That's a very highfalutin word you just said there.
Well, I do have, I have multiple degrees from real universities, so
and the lab coat.
Yeah, of course I have a lab coat. I mean, cheers.
You want to say. Yep. There you go. I got a new coffee mug for the show, by the way.
Oh, very exciting! Tell the cadets how they can purchase
which I will premiere on our next show. Because I'm using this one for the big monsters. I'm going to use the other one for like vampire movies, werewolf movies, zombie movies, that kind of thing. The smaller monsters. I'm going to pull that one out, and you'll see it on Thursday. So okay, we've got Yongari, Monster from the Deep, released by American International TV. And again, I had to buy a bootleg DVD to get this trailer.
How much did you spend on that bootleg DVD, General?
It was cheap. It was on eBay. It wasn't that bad. eBay's saturated now. You can get everything for pennies on the dollar.
You can virtually buy anything. You could probably buy Barack Obama's toenails for like $3.
Barack Obama's toenails.
It's deflation. It's not inflation. It's deflation.
Well, okay then. I would.
General, I wanted to ask if you could tell us what Yongari means in Korean.
Yongari is the name of the monster. It's just a name.
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any. Okay,
I don't think it means anything.
Into the monster.
I don't think it means anything other than it's a mythical monster that they go, oh, that must be Yongari. They said that in the film early on, and everybody just goes, oh yeah, it's Yongari. So we start in this movie, in this training film, at a launch pad site. This is Korea's version of Cape Canaveral. After the title card. Now I want to say also that I was kind of confused by the fact that they called this Yongari, Monster from the Deep, when he doesn't come out of the ocean at all. He doesn't even touch the ocean in this movie. He comes out of an earthquake fissure, like when the earth cracks open, a fissure. Is that what they call that? He comes out of one of those.
A fissure, yes. Fissure, fissure. Thank you.
There you go. So I thought I was right about that, but my brain was like, wait a minute, is that a real word? You know, when sometimes you come up with a word and you're like, is that the right word? Sometimes
All the time.
you write a word down, you go, is that the right spelling? I'm not sure if
All
that's
the
right
time,
spelling. And then you
General.
turn
all
out to
the
be
time.
right. You turn out to be right. So launch pad, but it's a wedding. So this is a really strange opening for this movie. The guy in the back of that car with that bride of his is the number one astronaut in South Korea, I should say. This is a South Korea movie. It's not a North Korea movie. It's South Korea. So he's going off on his honeymoon. And the woman in the back of the car, her father happens to be the head of the space program. So, and we're going to see him in the next line. There he is in the middle. He's the head of the space program. The guy on the left is the prime minister of South Korea. And he likes vests. So he's always wearing a vest in this movie and all the scenes that he does. So, and the guy on the right there is a scientist. He's one of the number one scientists in South Korea. And he's at the wedding. He's friends with the guy who's the number one astronaut. So he's kind of geeky. So yeah, we got the lovely couple in the back seat. We never see who's driving the car in this, which I find kind of weird. It's like, is the car have an invisible driver? Is it automatic? You know, because there are some things in this movie that are just way beyond 1967, which I will share with you in a minute. So anyway, the astronauts, they're heavily driving along. We don't see the driver. A flash of light hits them, and they all of a sudden become itchy. They're scratching and itching, and they stop the car. They get the driver, who we never see, to stop the car. The geeky scientist is following them, and he sees it. He's like, oh, what's going on there? That's kind of peculiar. And anyway, he meets up with them, and they're itching and scratching, and he goes, oh, I know what it is. It's my younger brother. He's staked out on the road here, a couple of miles away from the launch pad, waiting for you with my itchy ray. They took from the scientist's lab. This is his younger brother. This kid is a real brat throughout this movie, I want to tell you. He is just a naughty boy. So there they are. Again, we never see the driver. You must be itching in the car there somewhere. They don't look happy. And the scientist says, hey, come with me. Come on. You took that from my lab, didn't you? And they're driving back to his lab. That's an itchy ray. It's very important for this film. We have to know that that's an itching ray. And it works on monsters too. So he can't be mad at his little brother for too long. He takes him back to the lab, and of course he goes, go ahead, play with the toys. I don't care. That's his younger brother. So on the honeymoon, which is the next slide, the astronaut is he's tired. Why he carries little toy robots in his science lab, I don't know. I guess he knows the kid's going to be coming there. So he's falling asleep. He's falling asleep on his honeymoon. Hey, she is not happy about this. I don't know how many girls out there. Itchy Ray, yes, indeed, that's new. I don't know how many girls have experienced this on their honeymoon. I mean, I know it takes a lot out of you. Doing a wedding and all that dancing and pushing cake in each other's face and all that stuff, that's tiring. So I don't know how many other girls had this problem on the first night of their honeymoon, but there it is. She's not happy, obviously. And he's like, oh, come on, don't be like that, honey. Come on. I'll make it up to you. Let me show you my Yongari. Okay, now this kissing scene, if you ever do find a copy of this movie, this kissing scene is really amazing because in Korea, even today, they do not like to show public display of affection. Okay, so when you see him go in for that kiss, her face goes all the way around. So he's kissing right here on the back of the head. He's and then his James Bond spy phone goes off. You know, because he brought his spy phone with him to the honeymoon. Bad move number 2. She's not happy. He's taking a phone call from the space program. They're like, hey, we got to get you in here right now. We got to do a reconnaissance mission. And it's her father, you know. I guess he doesn't like the guy. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to ruin your honeymoon. So here, come on in. We need you. We need you to go up in space right now at this very second. She's like, Dad, how can you do that to me? How can you do that to our honeymoon? We'll give you guys a 2-week honeymoon afterwards. He's got to go up in the spaceship. Reconnaissance mission over the Middle East. They're using nuclear weapons in the Middle East. This is 1967 now. 1967. So, yeah, he goes back to the lab, or back to the see. And here's an example of the shot on the left hand side is cut in half. You can barely see her father there on the left. So, yeah, come dawn, he's in the spaceship, ready to launch again. He's gonna go over the Middle East. Oh my God, I'm on the wrong page here even. So yeah, he has to come in ASAP. So while the bride watches, this is my favorite part of the movie. While the bride watches from the control room, they show this huge phallic missile taking off. She's like, oh man. They must have done that intentionally. They had to have done that intentionally. And it blasts off.
It's very beautiful, the parallel with the wedding and then the launch. You know, it's very beautiful. I think that was very artistically done. Very good.
Again, she's got to have the horns because her husband fell asleep on her last night during the honeymoon, and then they called him right in to shoot him up into space in a rocket, big phallic, giant, hard rocket.
I feel like that makes up for it, right?
That's like the train going into the tunnel, you know. And it's a shaky launch, but he gets up there. Our astronaut clicks his buttons. He gets it up there. He exits the Earth's atmosphere. There he is, clicking his buttons. I'm enjoying this too much. And you know, he leaves Earth's atmosphere and he's out there above. Now keep in mind that this was before all those spy satellites were up there taking pictures of the entire Earth. So he's got to go up there in his spacecraft just so he can take pictures of what's going on in the Middle East with their nuclear program. They're exploding nuclear weapons in the desert. So he's focusing his cameras from his capsule on the Middle East. And there's his capsule,
which is a badminton. You know, this is a badminton birdie. This is a birdie.
So it's a shuttlecock.
It's a shuttlecock. You call it shuttlecock. You know,
there we go again.
Or a birdie, but it's absolutely badminton written
that
all over
poor
it.
Bride.
Yes, exactly.
But actually, you know, it's time for tea. You know, they're having a little tea.
They have tea too.
So he's okay. She's okay. Dad's not in the doghouse anymore, I guess. They're doing tea. So she's like, well, he'll be back and we'll get together. There's the explosion of the nuclear weapon. It goes off, and they lose contact with the capsule. When the bomb goes off, things go awry. And they can't. Hello, come in. Hello. Can you hear us? Can you hear us now? So meanwhile, a scientist and his little brother are watching all of this on their TV in their science lab. And he's like, well, that's peculiar. And there's an earthquake. There's an earthquake coming there's an earthquake coming up through the center of the Earth now from the Middle East. And it's going to come out in Korea. What are the odds? So that's what's happening. And the scientist thinks this is very strange. This is very peculiar. And underground earthquake, it's making its way to Korea from the Middle East. How ironic. By the time that they get to the astronaut back, when they can actually talk to him again, everybody's in the control room. The wife, the father-in-law, the science guy, the kid, they're all in there. So they have a happy return of his spacecraft. Now, this is the other interesting thing. This spacecraft can come back to Earth without actually, dropping it in the ocean. It can actually land, just like the Elon Musk ones do now. This is 1967 now. The Koreans perfected a spaceship that can land on its own, saving millions of dollars, millions of yen. So anyway, meanwhile, the quake goes up to South Korea. It makes its way all the way up to South Korea. And a very intense photographer photographs the monster when it first comes out. Or it shows its back, basically. He gets a picture of it. Now, he gets in a really bad car accident. His car goes off the side of a cliff. He got Toonses the cat to drive his car or something. His car goes off the cliff. It blows up. But he...
Thank you for the Toonses reference. You know, Toonses, the cat who could drive a car. You know, a lot of people might not remember Toonses, but Toonses was really iconic. And I just wanted to remember that jingle because it gets stuck in my head a lot.
Toonses. You know, you can stay here. You don't have to disappear.
Well, sometimes I like to disappear. You know, I got to do my hair. I got to put on my lipstick. I got to research, you know.
It's like you come in, lob out a little line.
Come in, come out. You know, it's like performance timing. You don't want to outstay your welcome. It's very important.
Well, no, you never outstay your welcome. We always love to have you here. So anyway, this guy survives the accident, and he brings his camera and says, "Oh, look at this," and they look at it. You know, even though he looks like a nut. But they still can't figure out what it is. So there's the prime minister again in another vest. He sends the military out to keep an eye on the quake and what's going on with the quake. Mm-hmm. And people are sitting on the edge of their seats. They're on pins and needles, and then Yongari appears, and there he is. He looks very.
It's a face that only a mother could love. I got it before you. A face only a mother could love.
Yes,
that's right.
I haven't said that in a while. I know
you haven't said that in a while. I'm here to remind you, General.
There you
can't forget it. It's part of your.
It's true.
Your beloved.
That's one of our catchphrases. But yeah, he looks very Godzilla-like, very lizard-like. Except he's got a horn on his nose, so he's kind of like a rhino version of Godzilla.
He's a little cute sometimes. I find him to be friendly and amiable looking.
He looks like he should be a puppet on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he could have a little very cute. Very
meow,
cute.
Meow, 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 meow.
Mm-hmm.
So they bring the tanks in, 3 of them. Can you spare the tanks? They shoot at Yongari. You know, he's not impressed. You know, and he can spit fire. You know,
he's
got
off.
Kind of a Gamera kind of fire thing, and going
he's
on.
not happy. He's had better days.
He just woke up. He's grumpy anyway. You know,
yeah.
They're pissing him off, and he's stepping on the tanks. You know, because you got to do that if you're a kaiju, if you're a big monster.
It's a part of the custom. It's a tradition.
So yeah, the evacuation begins. The scientist says, "Hey, I got to get a closer look at this thing," and his girlfriend is like, "Oh no, don't be a hero, don't go." And the little boy, his younger brother, is like, "Hey, I want to go with you." So they all go running out towards Yongari.
Yongari.
I don't know why that just popped in there just now, but
it was very appropriate. I loved it more. I love it more.
I love this guy. They never because there's not so much religion in Asia, you know, especially at this time.
I was surprised to see him. I was very surprised to see him.
This guy's like, the end is near. Yes,
he's very Christian. It's invigorating to see that.
It shows our influence in South Korea.
It shows the Western influence, of course.
So yeah, I love that guy. That's fun. He's only in it for a second, but I just love that guy. Anyway. Here is the obligatory shot of people running from the mat of the monster who's coming up on the buildings.
Yes.
And again, the guy and his girlfriend and his younger brother, they get very close. As a matter of fact, they're so close that the scientist gets hurt. He takes like a piece of a chunk of a building into his shoulder, and then the kid disappears. They're like, "Oh no, he's gone. Where did he go?" Brat. He's a smart little brat though, because he goes down under the ground. He goes down in the sewer where it's safer. Smart kid, but he's a brat still. So next slide, we see Yongari moving into the city. He's finally moving into the city. He's crumbling buildings. There are actually a lot of shots here that I'm not showing that show like kids dancing in a discotheque. They did that in Gamera the Invincible. And other people that are like eating and they don't care that the monster's coming. But ironically, in this movie, they don't show those people actually meeting their end, their demise, because they're, greedy or stupid or what have you. Here's the war room. The military guy wants to use missiles. They say, but if you use missiles, they'll do more damage than Yongari. So the kid, is watching from the street. He can lift one of those big, heavy ass sewer grate things, sewer grate lids. So he's a strong kid too. And he's just running around there in the poop down under the ground. He wants to watch Yongari. He wants to watch him up close. So Yongari gets to the Capitol building. That's the Capitol building in South Korea, in Seoul. Looks like it. And they get a helicopter close to him, which kind of annoys him. And of course, he uses that. Oh yeah, that's right. He can shoot fire. We better move. They don't even know half of the problem yet. There's something coming up in a minute that's going to really amaze you for a kaiju. So the kid keeps watching, and Yongari is sucking on gas. He eats oil and gas, but he ruptures an ammonia tank, and it makes him dance around. And he's not happy with it, and the kid sees that, and he reads that it's an ammonia tank. And again, he's dancing around. You see the white powder on him there? That's not cocaine. It's ammonia. So he goes back to the lab. They're like, what happened to you? And he's like, he ruptured a tank and it smelled really funny and he danced around and he wasn't happy. That must be ammonia. So they gather that ammonia is a way to harm and maybe even kill Yongari. Where is the link to Howitzer? Sandy D says. She's searching. So the helicopter comes back. Again, it's kind of annoying. And they try to lure him away from the city. And the scientist goes to the military general and says, hey, we think that ammonia might hurt Yongari. So can we like dump some ammonia on him? He's like, yes, do whatever you want. I want to use my missiles. You do whatever you want. And he kind of shoos him away. And they agree that they're going to try to lure Yongari to an area outside the city where it won't do so much damage when they do their thing. So they have an oil tank there outside the city that they set ablaze. There's the Prime Minister again. Beautiful vest, nice lapel. And Yongari doesn't go for it. He turns his back on it. He's like, nah, I gotta do it. Nah. So he's being stubborn. So not even the helicopter seems to annoy him enough to get him to move the other direction. So the kid shows up again with the itchy ray again. And he flashes it at I keep wanting to call him Gamera now. Yongari. So he keeps flashing at Yongari. And look at that kid. He's such a brat. Look at him. He's such a brat. And Yongari's dancing around, he's itching, and he finally sees what they're trying to move him to. That gas tank that's on fire. So he goes to it finally. He finally goes to it. The kid did it. The kid got him to look the other way and get to the gas tank. And he sucks up that gasoline that's burning like a Hoover vacuum. He just sucks it right up in there. I got 4 slides showing that. 4 slides within 2 slides. That's how I do it now. By the way, Major Hazzard, I hope you like the black background that I have chosen for our PowerPoint.
I do. I really appreciate it. I thought it was much easier on the eyes, much like yourself, General. It's easy on the eyes.
I'm easy on the eyes, am I?
Oh, everybody knows. Wow. Your handsomeness is legendary. Your handsomeness is legendary, General.
Oh, my goodness. Again, the military says, I don't care what you do. We're using the missiles. They fire the missiles at him. And, everything blows up around him. And they dump the ammonia on him anyway, because the missiles don't seem to really have any effect. And look who's in the helicopter. They let the ladies come along. They let their wives come along in the helicopter, dangerously getting close to Yongari. They know he can shoot fire. They can breathe fire. So anyway, they dump the ammonia on him. And it hurts him. He doesn't like it. He goes down. And the military's like, oh, hey, our missiles brought him down. They are mistaken. And unfortunately, the ammonia wasn't enough. It needed a little something else. It needs something. It needs a little kick. And there's lightning, which makes things more confusing. I don't know why they did that, but anyway. Yeah, see the top of the screen? There's a little pink thing there. That shows you that this is kind of like a VHS copy. Actually, it was a DVD, but it was a DVD of a VHS copy. It was all just nasty. Anyway, there was like six films in the eBay purchase in this like 6 DVD set. Anyway, I digress. So they're shaking hands in the war room. Hey, we did it. The missiles brought him down. Yeah, he's gone. Nah. The kid who's a brat is going to prove them wrong. So in the next slide, they're back in the lab. The scientist is thinking, you know what? Everybody's asleep here, but I'm still thinking, and you know what? I think ammonia wasn't enough. I think he's still alive. And as he's thinking this, he's working on a new mixture. And the kid takes the thing again. He takes the itchy ray. There she is. Hey there, guys. Hey, Sandy. So he goes out. He goes close to the what everybody thinks is the dead Yongari, and he flashes the light on him again, and it wakes him up. So he's back up again. So I will give this kaiju movie points for the fact that there's a lot of kaiju monster action in this. I mean, he is in this film a lot. I mean, through most of it. Whereas in Godzilla movies, he's only in it for maybe 15 minutes total. In one movie, he's only in it for like 8 minutes. So at least they give you a lot of Yongari. That's something. Okay, so Yongari's on the move again. The military's like, oh, it didn't work. Wait a minute. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, usually, when you fire like missiles and things at these creatures, these giant creatures who have very thick skin, it doesn't kill them, usually. Okay. So they're like, well, hey, let's fire more missiles at him. That's logical, I guess. Let's just waste all of our arsenal trying to kill this thing. Maybe eventually we'll get through his tough, thick skin. So he eats the yummy burning oil. Ammonia is not sure. So the military's eating crow. More missiles. Now, this is the next shot. It's strange because, okay, look at this. Yongari is not only turned yellow in this shot, he's about 1/3 of his size. These are a bunch of guys, a bunch of MPs that are trying to get away from him in a Jeep. And the reason they did this scene was because they wanted to show his next power, which is his horn on his nose. He has a laser that emits out of that horn. Yeah. And it cuts the Jeep right in half. A nice little comical scene. Yeah. But yeah, he cuts the Jeep in half with his laser nose, with his laser horn. Yeah, beam from his horn. That makes total sense. So the scientist, he loads up his chemical weapons in a white helicopter. Very important, white helicopter, because we never see that white helicopter again. In later shots, it looks silver. Yongari makes it to the river. There it is. Seen a lot of bridges like that in Asia. There's a lot of bridges like that in Asia. So very, very, very nicely done. Time for the jets to attack. The jets. You know, we had a helicopter piss him off. Let's send in some jets. There we go. So they fire their rockets, and the rockets blow up and piss him off. You know, it just makes him angrier. I mean, they know this thing can breathe fire. They know he's got a laser coming out of his horn. And yet, yeah, he just bats him away. There's another explosion from the missiles. Yeah, he just bats him away, and he uses that laser horn to cut one of those planes in half, you know. But here comes our heroic team. It should be a white helicopter, but look how dark that is. Looks like a dark silver helicopter now. And what the heck? The wives not only came along, but they let the kid come along too. Let's take this helicopter dangerously close to a giant kaiju who can breathe fire and has a laser in his horn. Everybody, come on. Shotgun. Who wants to come along? And that's what they see, you know, from the helicopter. They're looking at the cold, deadly stare of Yongari. Yongari, Yongara, Yongari, Yongara. So as you can see, they're dumping the ammonia dust mixture. He's added a little something for kick to it onto Yongari, and he goes down. Where are you, Hazzard?
I'm right here.
So, do you think he's going to stay down?
Well, you never know when you're talking about Yongari. He could surprise everybody. And Sandy D, Cadet Sandy said laser beam eyes. I just wanted
laser
to
beam eyes. Is that like Betty Davis eyes?
Mm-hmm. So let's see what's going to happen.
So
Everybody's
they're happy. They're very happy. They're
celebrating right now. They don't have a care in the world. They don't have a care in the world. You see that? They think everything is just okay now. But you should never count against Yongari.
Yongari is very powerful.
Very powerful.
And this has got to go down in history, this film, as the longest, most drawn-out death scene of a kaiju in kaiju film history, okay? This is longer than Gerard Depardieu dying as Cyrano, which took about 8 minutes.
That did take about 8 minutes.
So this is incredibly long. Okay, so he keeps getting up. They keep pouring this ammonia mixture on him. Oh, he stays up again. Hey, let's do another flyover. Let's do another passover. He's headed for the bridge. You know it's coming close to the end when you knock the bridge down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the next shot. So he's close to a river. And, you know, you got to wonder, you know, is he ever going to go down? You know, how are we going to know that he's dead? How are they going to know that it's over and that he's not going to get back up again like he did the first time and like he's done a couple of times here now? So he finally goes down in the river. And the director of this film came up with an amazing, wonderful idea to show. And again, when I first saw this shot, I'm like, why are they showing the tail and the foot in the water? What's that all about? And then I realized it's because we are now going to get confirmation of his death. Next slide.
This is the big moment that everyone's been waiting for. This is the moment of how you could tell that he truly is no longer going to get up, which is very sad. It's very boring to me.
Yes, it's anal bleeding. It's rectal bleeding. That's how we know.
It's not acceptable to me. I don't think it's a good thing, but you know, it is what it is.
Use of this ammonia mixture may cause headaches, may cause nausea, and rectal bleeding.
It's very sad. My heart goes out to him. I have a lot of compassion. It's very, very sad. I don't know why they chose to do it that way. They could have done anything else. It might have been a technical error for the training film. I'm not sure how medically accurate it was. I'm just not sure.
But we know he is dead now. There's no doubt about it.
Dead, and it's very sad.
They've got anal bleeding into the river.
It's
so
just
that's
sad.
It's over.
It is.
He ain't coming back from that. He's hemorrhaging from his anal cavity. So
my heart goes out to him.
Well, and so did the kid. The kid was like, "Oh, I got to watch Yongari dance. I wish we didn't have to kill him."
Yeah.
But they're very happy to see the anal bleeding, the rectal
That's true.
dysfunction.
That's very true.
Time for that honeymoon now.
Oh, oh boy. That's true. I guess it is. I guess it is.
And there he is. He's done. He will not come back again until his CGI upgrade comes out in about 40 years.
Oh boy.
33 years.
Oh boy.
So then again, they're very happy in the war room. Oh, look, he's bleeding from his anus. Oh, this is wonderful. He's dead. Very happy. And shaking hands. And then the next day we have the motorcade to the scene where all of our heroes step out on the steps of some famous courthouse or some place, maybe the Capitol, what's left of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the little boy's there. The reporters want to talk to the little boy. The scientist says, "Yeah, it was all him. He did it with the itchy ray and all. You know, this smart kid, my brother." And the little brother is like, "Well, I hope my big brother's girlfriend finally marries him." And he's being a brat. I swear to God, the kid does that at the end of the movie. And she's, "Oh, stop it, will you?" It's one of those endings. They all do that.
I love when you talk about the kids in these training films. You always zero in on them. You do a lot. You think you really like them. You pretend not to, but I think your favorite.
No, I hate them.
No, you don't hate them. No, you don't hate them. It's like cats. You love cats. You love the kids in the training films. I see right through it. You have a heart of gold, General. Everybody knows.
You think so, huh? There he is, little brat.
We know so. And that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote.
And that's it. It's one of those typical where everybody's laughing at the end.
Mm-hmm. Don't do Skype faces, too scary. Oh, that's too scary. You did it too well.
They do that at the end of the Naked Gun TV show, right? Where they all do the
yeah, that's correct. Yeah. It's just a little eerie because in the pandemic with Zoom phase, it's like we all know that's what people are rebooting,
So again, this is a very hard film to find. I hope someday someone will post it on YouTube. If I could get it, somebody should be able to get it and post it on YouTube. It's in the public domain. The company that released it went out of business, I'm pretty sure. It's got to be in the public domain.
Oh yes, I believe so. So what did we learn, General?
Be careful of that rectal bleeding.
Let's do a summary for the cadets.
That's Yongari dying.
That's Yongari dying. What did we learn? If we see a Yongari in America, what should we be doing? We shouldn't mock his demise. He was a creature. He was a beautiful soul. I feel like inwardly he was misunderstood.
He was a menace.
He was a menace, but there were good parts of him. He was very cute. He had the horn. He was very cute.
Well,
we do need a mute button. That's right. We do need a mute
kind of
button.
weak. They went for his weak spot.
We might have to put up this. I think. Thank you, Sandy D. We'll put that one there.
This content is not suitable for all viewers.
What?
We need to keep the button.
We need to keep the button. There you go. Okay, so when will Howitzer be back? We have one day in between. What should they be watching? The cadets should be watching what for Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern?
Okay. You just made me realize I don't think I did my ad for today's show today. Anyway, I've been so busy today. I've been doing all this.
You just did it a few days ago. But yeah, you did. But you did.
So I did 3 ads, but I was supposed to do one today and I forgot to. So anyway.
So Thursday,
just for the hell of it, maybe I'll do it tonight. Okay. It was such a nice poster.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow we have Painting with Rory at 10:30. Would be nice if you could join them for Painting with Rory. Also,
my favorite show on all of Cosmos. It's my favorite show. I don't always make it, but when I make it, it's my favorite show. I do it from bed and I love it. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, very relaxing. Trivia questions, Sandy's always fun. There's Sandy. And on Thursday, we do another Howitzer. We're going to have Barbie McGee with us this Thursday because we're doing a vampire movie, one of the greatest vampire movies of all times. It doesn't have Dracula in it, but it's called Brides of Dracula. And it's one of the Hammer horror films, and it's a really, really good representation of vampires, I think. It's one of my favorites. And how nasty they can be. He's a really clever vampire, Baron Meinster, and how nasty a vampire can be. So I won't tell you any more than that because I don't want to spoil it. But again, I got 400 slides I got to sit through now, which I did last night. I was up till wee hours in the morning last night doing the slides for that, and I got like 400. So now I got to pare that down to like 150. And that should pretty much finish. I think 30 episodes will be a good season. So I think that's going to finish out season 1. And then next week, I'll get a haircut and we'll start again next Tuesday. After Thursday's show, we have No Icing with Dritta. I think the main guest is Simon Kopeka, an artist from Zambia. From Livingstone, Zambia.
I love it. It's a tourist capital of Zambia, and I love his artwork. And Rory Penland has bought some of it. It's
That's
absolutely
correct.
stunning. He uses vibrant, intense colors. These are massive, almost like a
Very
tapestry.
colorful.
Very big, and they're very reasonably priced. I mean, this is an up and coming artist who you're going to hear about. And
he's trying to raise money. He's trying to raise $2,000 so he can buy a 30 meter by 50 meter plot of land there, so he can build a art school for kids. So he wants to help the kids out in the area by giving them showing them their talents. So I think that's a pretty worthy cause. So I'm hoping that he'll sell some artwork this Thursday. He's selling it at Everything's Gotta Go. I'm trying to start that art school. So I'm hoping that people will tune into that. And again, buy some of his art, help him out in his cause. You have to pay him through Western Union, I believe. He doesn't have PayPal over there. But again, if you're just interested in seeing what art he has and what's available, you can contact him firsthand. His name is Simon Kopeka, Kopeka, I believe, and just strike up a conversation with him. Ask him to show you what he's got and how much he would charge you for it. Usually, he just charges a little bit and shipping and handling. So again, you can get a huge piece of art for like, a couple $100. So yeah. And Friday they have the Drunkles with Julio Morales, Ruby Ray Moore,
Gregory Gannon. They got a lot of wonderful people who show up, and it's different every week. They have different guests every week as well.
I wanted to call him Gary. I don't know, and my mind was saying no. His name is not Gary. It's Gregory.
There's no Gary. I don't know any Gary.
I want to call him Gary Goldman. There's a comedian named Gary Goldman.
Yes. Gregory Gannon.
So I had a little brain fart there.
That's okay.
It was quite evident. It was quite evident that I had a brain fart there.
Okay. So everybody, we do thank everybody for coming out. And then also the one more thing we want to talk about is that Rory Penland, who's the man of 1,000 voices, he has a very special event coming up. General, would you like to talk about that?
He's going to do his 800 and plus voices on the last Friday of October, and he's trying to raise $1,000 like now so that he can pay Guinness.
Here's the PayPal that if you want to support
world records people to be there. They asked for $1,000 fee to make sure that a representative can get out there or find a way to gauge what the world's record is, so that they can actually give them the thumbs up and give them the certificate. And okay, it's a world's record.
That's right.
So. Yeah. So I think he's raised $250. I think he might put in a few $100s of his own money. Someone has said that they would, if he could get up to 500, they
They'll
would match
match.
it. Yeah, if he can get up to 500, they would match
So we
it.
just
I will say
need
that
to
is-
get up to and yes, Sandy, there was some peach tea noises at the very, very beginning. If you hit replay, you'll hear some peach tea. But do another one, General. Do another one.
I got to refill my cup.
Well, just pretend you could be an actor. You know, you could try to be an actor.
I mixed my peach tea in a regular bottle. Yes, it's a mix. And okay, there it is. Oh, that's good. Oh, excuse me. You got like 3 noises there, so I hope you enjoyed that. Peach tea noises. We got Burn It Down on Mondays with Tom Cheshire. Who else we got? We got the Orca Times girls.
They'll be coming up on at the beginning
back.
of October. They'll be coming up, and we have Jeffrey Hutz's show, which is Day for Night, and that comes on Fridays at 11 p.m. Usually right after Drunkles, but we sometimes tape it and sometimes go on Tuesdays. There's no Day for Night tonight, but probably this Friday we'll have something for it.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, that guy knows a lot about movies. Oh my God,
he's an aficionado. He's an absolute aficionado. He knows everything there is to know, and he's got amazing guests. You know, absolutely amazing guests.
All right. So
all right, that's all she wrote.
We got through the timeline quickly because it was a short movie, and we did a lot of shilling at the end. But hey, there it is.
I thought it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Thank you, cadets. Thank you, General, and we'll see everybody tomorrow, 10:30 p.m. Painting with Rory. Be there or be square. There you go.
Keep an eye out for those big monsters.
Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out.
And
Bye,
thank
everybody.
you, Major Hazzard, for being there.
Thank you,
You're my
General.
safety net.
You're my hero. I look up to you. You're my mentor, and you're keeping us all safe. We are the last defense. Thank you, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Doing the best.